Nutrition and exercise. So the impact of diet on ADHD symptoms. So an anti-inflammatory diet is incredibly helpful. Now, most of our kiddos that are ADHD or on the spectrum crave carbs. They want those crunchy carb foods. Now, it is not easy to be on a gluten-free diet. Trust me, I need to be on one, and it's not easy. Finding a good gluten-free bread or good gluten-free pasta, not as easy as it's getting better, much better. But an anti-inflammatory diet is very helpful. Also, limiting dairy, because all dairy and gluten are inflammatory foods, and they make the body work harder to process, as well as make them have brain fog. There's a lot of science out there on this, so I encourage you to do your research, because there's a ton of information on anti-inflammatory diets for children that have ADHD. Limiting sugar too, because their bodies are already racy, and if you can limit like how much processed food and how much sugar you're giving your child, that's important too. And increasing their water. Their bodies inside internally, whether they're physically moving or not, their nervous system is at a heightened speed. And so the more water you give them, the easier it is for them to focus too. You don't want to overhydrate, but you want to make sure that they're drinking, because sometimes they forget to actually hydrate and eat because they're absent-minded, right? They're in that beautiful creative world that they're in. Physical activity always increases those endorphins. It makes them feel good. School typically makes them feel negative about themselves. Finding an outlet that makes them feel good about themselves is important. So they might be an amazing athlete. That's going to increase their mood, right? They might be really good at science and robotics. Get them out doing that. They might like to go walk the dog and be with you in the woods, whatever. Find a way to find something physical that they can move their body, but also feel really good about. Yeah.
I have a question that came in over here. What if the child is extremely picky eater?
Oh, love, I totally hear you on that. Picky eater. So I had a client one time that literally ate only 4 foods, and really trying different textures, as well as looking at what are those preferred foods that they like. Are they a crunchy or are they a soft? And really focusing in on, okay, if it's a soft, let's try some other soft foods that might work, right? And slowly introduce something new every week. Don't introduce a whole bunch of things at one time. Introduce them slowly and say, for the first time, they might not like it, right? But then try it again in a couple days. Say, we're just going to take a no thank you bite. Let's just give it a whirl. But really looking at what foods they generate to texture wise, that's why they're picky, because of how it feels in their mouth. My daughter is a massively picky eater, but she goes for hard things. So if I gave her something soft, it most of the time is an immediate no thanks. So building that texture foods is important to look at. And if you want any more help on picky eating, you let me know. I'm more than happy to give you some suggestions and some references and kind of some like ideas on different foods. Also, getting them involved in cooking helps. Those picky eaters, they're going to be watching you cook, right? And then they're like, oh, well, I guess I want to try that, right? That's a really fun way of getting them involved. And then incorporating healthy eating habits and regular exercise. So maybe helping them decide what meal for the week they want to make, right? So those picky eaters, my daughter, I'm like, okay, well, what meal do you want to make this week? So she'll pick sometimes one that we'll make together, right? Or kind of thinking about, let's look at some of these cookbooks. What do you think you want to try? Right? So getting in some of those healthy habits. We live in a really fast-paced life. So if those kind of things are not easy for you guys to do, there's other ways to incorporate that, like helping them learn how to pack their lunch, right? Okay, well, my lunchbox comes home and is completely full. You didn't like anything I packed, right? So how about we look at those foods that you want to eat? And you already have them in the house. So that's another way of helping planning and prioritizing, time management, and also healthy eating.